Back to the breaking news today. Judge Merchan partially lifting Trump's gag order, but will Judge Merchan still go nuclear on Trump? We can expect Merchan to scrutinize what Trump says at the debate as he approaches that July 11th sentencing date for the convicted former president. If he believes the former president violates what's still in place of the gag order, could Merchan throw the leading GOP contender for the presidency in jail just 4 days before the RNC convention? Let's welcome to the show class action attorney Kelly Hyman and former Whitewater deputy counsel and Fox News contributor Saul Weissenberg. Good to see you both. Saul, could Judge Merchan still use a Trump comment saying something about the trial during the debate on Thursday? Could he use that against Trump during the sentencing on July 11th?
He could both use it to put Trump in jail for violating the gag order, and he could also use it in the sentencing as well. Absolutely. And
how would he do that? I mean, I very briefly just saw a couple of comments about the partial lifting of the gag order, but I mean, has he been specific enough about what measures of the gag order he has lifted to ward off Trump from talking about it during the debate?
I think so. The gag order still is grossly overbroad on First Amendment grounds, but I think he made it clear. He said Trump is now free to talk about witnesses, so that'll leave him free to talk about Michael Cohen, for example. And former President Trump is also free to complain about the jury. He cannot reveal, and I don't think he knows, but he cannot reveal personal information about the jurors, but he's free to complain about them as well. He can also complain about the judge, and he can complain about Alvin Bragg, but he cannot complain about court staff or staff of the district attorney's office.
Yeah, so by the way, does that include the guy who was the third man at DOJ who came over to work for Bragg, Colangelo?
I believe that he is. I believe that he is covered by the gag order. I'm not 100% sure, but I think only Bragg himself was excluded from that. So Kelly, he could, and that would obviously be very unfair if he wasn't allowed to comment on the fact that the third ranking person in the Department of Justice came down to join in the prosecution. But I'm not 100% certain on that.
Okay. Kelly, just a broad question. How do you think the judge will decide the sentencing of Donald Trump? Is it conceivable he could go for the nuclear option and put him in jail?
Well, everything's going to be on the table. And so what that means is the judge is going to consider everything. The state made papers and filed those with the court and basically will assert their position on exactly what they feel, whether he should do jail time or not jail time. Obviously, Trump's attorneys will say no jail time, and also the probation officer will make a report as well to make a determination whether there's jail time. But also there's a lot of factors that the judge will consider. The judge will consider mitigating factors such as Trump's age, being 78 years old, and then also the fact that usually in these types of cases, a first-time offender doesn't go to jail. Doesn't mean that it's off the table, but most likely the judge will not give him jail time.
And very quickly, Kelly, the classified docs case in Florida. This was a judge now appointed by Donald Trump, very different from Judge Merchan. How do you think she will rule on the evidence? Because the Trump team is claiming that a lot of the evidence should be revoked, particularly on obstruction. Also, the search warrant wasn't properly obtained, so that the evidence from that could be thrown. I mean, does Trump team have any chance at all of getting this evidence thrown out?
Well, ultimately, that's going to be to the district court judge. As you say, the district court judge is appointed for life, and she's a Trump appointee. However, believing in the rule of law and the fact that the judge will look at the evidence and what is presented to her and what exactly is presented to her. So in regards to this case, there's the Fourth Amendment in our Constitution, which discusses search and seizures. And one of the arguments being made is that under the search and seizure, that in fact that the search warrant in order to go get the documents was very broad. So in regards to a search warrant, what exactly happens is that there has to be probable cause. And and probable cause is mean that most likely there was a crime committed or going to be a crime committed. And that was in front of the magistrate judge, and the magistrate judge heard the evidence, and based on an affidavit, that's a sworn affidavit by an FBI agent, made a determination that there should be a search warrant. Okay. But ultimately, it'll be up to Judge Cannon to make a determination of whether the search warrant was overbroad or if the evidence comes in or not.
Kelly, Saul, never enough time. There's so much to talk about here. Thank you both for being here.